Hello and welcome to another edition of the AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley. Today we are joined by both of our founders, Greg and Amanda Kilwine. Hey guys.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Hey everybody.
We are really excited to have you here today. Today we're going to be talking about content marketing strategies, talking about how you can get more leads into your business in ways that don't require you doing every single thing, every step of the way, every single day, and everything that you need to do to grow your business. So I want to be really engaged with you guys here today because we have a good deal of opportunity while these sessions are still intimate. To be able to really work with you on really making sense of what you learn here today, of how you can put this to use in your business. So we're really looking forward to spending that time together today. Let us know where you're coming in from as well as you're coming on here. We're always excited to know where in the world our community is, because we are everywhere, truly everywhere. Buffalo, Washington State. I was up in Buffalo recently. I love that city. And Canada, we're all in the tundra, it looks like, here today. I think we probably all have snow on the ground, everyone who's live here on this call right now. Literally, I'm not a fan, but it's here. Not as much as you guys where I am, but it's coming. Like, what is that, Game of Thrones? Winter is coming. All right, so let's get into our slides here. I'm going to go ahead and turn video off so we've got a good recording quality, and we'll pop back on and show our faces as we get through the close of the call. I do want to go ahead and open up my Q&A here as well. By the way, if you are here today and you're working on something in your AttractWell platform, or you're just trying to sort something out, figure something out in your business, I want to encourage you to bring your questions and go ahead and add those to the Q&A so that we can get to those, of course, here on the call. All right, so we're going to talk about content marketing strategies for coaches and consultants. This applies truly to anyone who is in a service or human serving focused business. So basically what this means is if your clientele are not merely numbers, numbers of conversions or sales of an item, then this is going to work well for you. All right, so here's what we're going to go over today. We're going to get into the content marketing basics. We'll get into some live coaching on content marketing strategies, and then we'll get into some live help and Q&A as well. So I want to hear about your business. If you're here today, leave us a message in the chat. Who do you serve? What is your quick elevator pitch? What do you do? Would love to learn more about what it is that you do and for whom. Let us know there in the comments. And again, if you have questions, you're here today in need of any kind of help with your business, go ahead and add that to the Q&A, and we will spend some time together going through these things on the call. All right. And if you want to work together live, you want to set aside time for working together live on an upcoming call, you go to attractwell.com/work review. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this, but back in my day, but seriously, back in the day, thinking about, maybe 10 years ago, maybe even before that, and in some cases still today, there's a lot of people who continue to use these antiquated strategies. It used to take like 3 VAs to run 8 different platforms, keep them all connected together. And of course, you as the business owner needs to spend dozens of hours a week invested in these platforms and managing these people who can do these things that are difficult that you don't do. You dump a ton of time into trying to become a go-to expert with content. Right. I'm not going to name names, but we even have, sort of legacy platforms in this industry that, like their code name is confusion. So things are different now. And with AttractWell, the guesswork for all of this stuff is gone. You can actually get found, grow your list, convert, and serve your clients at scale by logging into one place. Right? We make this simple for you. So whether you are looking to attract new leads, automate more of your business, or to launch programs or courses, or just serve your clients better, you've got everything that you would have paid thousands of dollars in VAs and 17 different platforms for, all under one roof with AttractWell. So if you want to be on these calls in the future, if you want to work together live, make sure you go to attractwell.com/office hours. If you're watching this as a recording, just make sure you're on the list so you can join us. Now, I've got a question for you guys. And I see here, I help busy entrepreneurs so that they can spend their time doing what they love. Oh, I love that. we may know people that love you too. So let me ask you guys who are here, how do you find clients right now? So where did your last 5 clients come from? Leave me a comment in the chat. Did you find them on Facebook? Did you post somewhere on Facebook? Did you speak somewhere? Did they come from your email list? Did you guest host or guest post on a blog or get interviewed on a podcast? Or, was it a referral? Referrals, yeah, that is definitely super common. Referrals are great. I love referrals. Got another one came from a Facebook group and people we know. So kind of a warm market thing, and social media, Instagram and Facebook. All right. So that's how you're going out there and you're finding clients. Now, what are you doing? Next question. What are you doing now, or what have you been working on doing to attract new clients? Right? So what are you doing so that people come to you? We've got social media reels. So doing some social, letting people get to know you on social. Anybody else doing anything to attract clients? All right, working on my next offering. Not sure the best way to spread that word though. That is definitely something we can talk about today on our call. Weekly email, monthly email. Excellent. So that's some of the stuff that you're doing to attract new clients. All right. So let's talk about the things that we do that actually get us found, right? So there's definitely something to be said for who you already know. That's your network. That is your social network. That is your social media in a lot of cases, as well as the source for your referrals from other people that you're networked with, right? But content is a primary means by which you can get found. Oh, I see another one here, a lunch and learn. That's a really popular kind of old school, still works way to get in front of people. And that is something that, like social media and these other things we're talking about, there's not a great deal of leverage. It's actually a lot of work that goes into those, as I'm sure you know. But content is something that you can create once that continues to pay you in leads and engagement over time. And it's really profound. The advent of SEO marketing and content marketing really was, in my opinion, the beginning of the major shift in literally how we sell things, period, no matter what you have or what you do, right? Because before the day of content, right, the era that we are in now of content being king, what we did was we put loud commercials on the TV, or we counted on billboards or cold calls to get in front of our ideal clients. But with the internet, with search marketing and with content, which is what is found when people search for things, we have the ability to more subtly interact with people and to be found, intentionally found by the people that we most want to work with. So that type of content, what I want to talk with you guys about today are what I like to call legacy content. And this is the stuff that helps you get found long-term. This is the stuff that is SEO or search engine friendly. And what this includes most of the time are blog posts, website content, and YouTube videos, i.e. things that somebody can go to Google, search for something, and find you as a result, right? That's legacy content. And then there's social content. This is a great thing to use to boost visibility and to engage in the now. So somebody who is there right now, you can go grab them. And when you're first getting started, this is an incredibly rewarding thing to do. And unfortunately, it becomes a thing that we might get stuck in when we need to really be graduating up into more leverage strategies. And so what that looks like are stories, social posts, basically anything that you might post on a Facebook or an Instagram, things that are status updates, really anything that doesn't sit in a static place like a YouTube channel or a blog post that is more or less pushed down the feed. When you Google something, you don't typically find someone's social media post, right? And you certainly don't find someone's social media post, Twitter being the exception here. Sometimes that'll show up, but you don't find someone's social media post from more than a few hours or a couple days ago. right? So you've got legacy content, long-term stuff. Evergreen, that's a good question, Annunciation. I think that, in a way, evergreen and legacy would be pretty similar here for sure. You definitely don't want to use your legacy platforms to rely on of the minute stuff. So yes. All right. So just like a healthy diet needs protein, fat, and carbs, right? We need a mix of these things. Look, it's not that carbs are bad, right? And in this way, if you're not picking up on this, like social media isn't bad. We just can't survive on carbs alone, not well anyway, right? So if you're not seeing this already, like in this analogy where we've got to have some carbs, social is the carbs, right? And of course, in the West in particular, and in the last 20 or so years, carbs have kind of become the bad guy, where we're talking about diet. I don't want to go so far as to say we're Atkinsing this, but social is something that we need to really look at as being something that we use to give a boost and not as our main meal. And Susie, great question. And that's something to be included here. Podcast absolutely falls under legacy content. Yes, podcast is legacy content. So legacy content takes work to produce. All right. It takes time. And sometimes it takes us getting out of our comfort zone. And when we're already busy with all of the other things we're doing in our business, there doesn't feel like often there's a lot of incentive to actually take the time and do this work. But it's really, really important. Just like you got to eat your vegetables, right? Just like you've got to make sure that you're feeding your body correctly. You got to feed your business well also. So if you put the work in, your legacy content can reward you with a healthy business. And it doesn't have to be hard. Now, I'm not going to get into podcasting today because that is a whole other animal. But know that it's going to kind of be similar in principle, right? So what does this look like, right? Getting into creating content on an ongoing basis, legacy content, so that you can be found long-term. So to get started with content, first, we have to understand consistency is the most important thing. If you create content for 2 weeks and then you don't show up for a year, you're starting all over again. It's better for you to do something once a month, or even more ideally once a week, than to be sporadic, because we'll get into that in a minute. I don't want to get ahead of myself. So what we want to be doing when we're creating content is showing up and answering the questions that your person is Googling. Now, there's lots of content out there that is made for different purposes. This training very specifically is about you attracting leads for your business. Okay. Your leads are looking for answers. They're trying to solve a problem on their own right now. And they're looking for answers to those questions so that they can either do it themselves or so that they could get an idea from someone who knows what they're talking about of what it would look like to even solve the big problem that you can help them solve. And if you're here today live, I would love to work with you specifically on making sure that you know what that looks like. So get those wheels turning and let's make sure we talk about this here on the call. Now we want to keep our content pretty short and easily digestible, i.e. we don't want this to be an ebook, right? We don't want this to be something insanely long, but we do need to make this something that's easy to consume. And then guys, don't be vanilla. When you make content, if you're going to go out of your way to make, to do work, and this is work, if you're going to go out of your way to do work to try to attract people, please don't try to be anything other than your complete full flavor, because you need to turn people away who are not for you. If you show up for everybody, nobody's going to listen to you. Show up for your people, be your full self, embrace your flaws and your quirks, and be who you are, because content really is going to be one of the things that moves the needle in your business by allowing people to get to know you before you ever even know who they are. So what you're going to do is create a video and or a blog post once a week, ideally. And then you're going to email your list of subscribers when you create that content, and then use social media to boost your content's visibility, right? So use it to point people back to the legacy stuff. This is where social is really excellent. Social is great to get a lot of attention and make a lot of noise and get people's attention so we can point to the thing that we want them to see. right? If we're not pointing to anything other than our social, then we're hopping on a hamster wheel every day when we're getting to work, right? All right, so let's talk about blog posts. We want at least 500 words, but 1,000 plus is most ideal for SEO's sake. We're not going to get into SEO in this video, but 1,000 words, think like you're writing an essay, right? An essay's length. You want to plan this out. Speaking of essays, you want to plan this out just like you would have planned writing a paper or an essay in school, where you're going to pick a topic, right? Here's the thesis. Here's 5 ways to do blah, 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 or here's how to ABC. Here's our thesis, a topic. Please do not try to go and combine 7 different things. You're going to lose people. and think about yourself when you're Googling, you're looking for an answer, not 17 of them, right? So grab your thesis, make an outline so that you know what concepts and stories and things like that you want to include to prove your point, make the point you want to make. Then you're going to write it, then you're going to edit it, and you're going to publish it. And then you're going to share it. Pretty simple, right? So things like how-to guides, lists, recipes, things like that work really well for blog posts. You can format your blog posts, and you should, using headers so that you can have like a visual distinction between the main topics. People can scroll through to the section that's most interesting or important to them. It's also helpful for your SEO rankings to have your keywords inside of those headers. Use images. If you're making YouTube videos, add those to your blog post and then take that blog post link and put it in the description of that YouTube video. If you've got a lot of stuff on the page where their eye has a lot to sort of move around to, we're very highly distractible humans in this day and age. So just placing a giant block of text in front of someone is going to very likely make them turn and run away unless you are providing a research study to a scientist, right? Or to a researcher. To the average person, you really got to break this stuff up. So keep it visually formatted so it's easy to read and interesting to see. Doesn't feel like work when you're looking at it. And then of course, in any piece of content that you create, you want to include a call to action with a link for them to subscribe to your list or get a freebie or something like that that you're offering. All right. And then once you have published your blog post, you syndicate. Again, that's going to your social and to all of your social accounts and sharing a little bit of information about this blog post and then pointing people over and encouraging them to read it. YouTube videos, another great way to get started with content. 5 to 7 minutes is, I think, a sweet spot. If your content, if you're particularly engaging and really talented with video, you can go a bit longer than this. But I really recommend kind of keeping it short, especially in the beginning and to the point. And again, plan it out like you planned a paper in school. Pick a thesis, single topic, make yourself an outline so that you're clear and you don't just ramble on when you turn the video on. Using an outline as well is going to help you with scripting. I mean, you don't have to have a script. You probably shouldn't be using a script. Use one if you need to. I certainly started off making scripts for myself. But once I got comfortable, I got away from them and just used outlines, right? You shoot your video, you edit your video as needed, and then you publish it. And then of course you share it, right? Again, just like blog posts, how-tos, guides, lists, recipes, these all work well. Be clear on what they can expect at the opening of the video and in the description, and then get to the point, right? Don't just ramble on. People really feel respected and will love to keep coming back to your content if you actually deliver on what you say that you will. And then of course, always include a call to action verbally and in the description, as well as a link to get on your list or to get a freebie that you're offering. And then again, syndicate, go to your social platforms, email to your list, and just share everywhere you have a voice, this new piece of content that you've created. All right. Now, consistency is key with this. This is a marathon, not a sprint. A sprint is what you do when you get on social media and you're trying to promote toward getting something done, because you have to be on there all the time and you're constantly chasing around leads and all of that kind of stuff. This is different. This is a marathon. So we're going to do something over a sustained period of time that will create compounding benefit for our business in the form of leads. So treat it that way. This is something worth training for. right? We train for marathons. We run for our lives when we need to sprint and we're scared. That's not what this is. So give yourself the time and space to plan out what you want to create for the next quarter. Start now. It's early December. Start for quarter one of 2022 as we're filming this. Go ahead and set out. These are the 4 YouTube videos I'm going to create. And when you think about it, that's 1 YouTube video a week, maybe do 5 if there's 5 weeks in January, I forget. Do 4 or 5 videos. And when you look at it that way, oh, it's just 4 or 5 videos, 4 or 5 minutes a piece. That's really not that much time, is it? And it really doesn't have to take that much work. So be consistent and plan to be consistent. Because what we're doing is conditioning people to pay attention to what we are saying. This is why we need to show up consistently. This is something that you have probably experienced with the algorithms on social media. Certain people see and thus like or comment on a lot of stuff that you do, right? Show of hands. You've got a couple of people or maybe a lot of people on your content who consistently, it's like the same person. You see the same person just about every time you log in. They love what you're doing clearly because they're always liking and they're always commenting, right? Those are people who the algorithms have conditioned to hearing from you. And we're sort of creating that algorithm ourselves in the minds of the people that we really want to be communicating with, right? So if somebody watches your YouTube video and you have shown up and they went back and maybe looked at a couple of your other videos because you've been consistently making them, they see, oh, wow, this person is actually an expert in this thing that I'm not, and I need their help. And she just said, go to my website and get my free guide. I think I'm going to go do that. Right? We're conditioning people to pay attention and to value what it is that we're saying. And there is no way for us to do that if we don't show up every week or every day or however often it is that you're showing up. On social, it has to be every day, often multiple times a day. Thankfully, with content, you can do this once a week. All right. So this is the cool thing about this. And it's amazing the reach that you will discover of the people that you can find globally who are in great, just perfect alignment with you and what it is that you offer. People feel like they already know who you are and feel like they're ready to work with you before they ever talk to you, before they ever meet you. This is the most compelling thing about all of this, in my opinion, especially if you're using YouTube. I experienced this in multiple iterations of my career in different offerings that I've created and running YouTube channels with my own content on them. When you get on the phone with somebody who has been following your YouTube content and you're having a discovery call and talking about what might be the next best step for them, 9 times out of 10, that person is 99% sold. It's kind of remarkable because people really get to feel like they know you and get to know you before you ever hop on that call. This is a really powerful asset for your business in that way. And then communicate and ask for people to communicate with you so that you know what they want to hear, right? So you already have a little bit of a following that you've created. Be in touch with them. Don't just treat them like numbers, like, oh, I have 750 people on my list. No, you have 750 individuals who could hit reply to an email and tell you what they are looking to learn more about right now. And that'll tell you what you need to be doing for the next year for your content. So make your life easy by asking the people who you're already serving and continually keep that conversation going. Don't just be someone who is putting content out there from a pedestal on high. You're someone who is a real person who's creating real solutions for other people. So talk with those people. Let them tell you what they need. Make sure that you are delivering on your promises. So if you say, I'm going to show you the way to XYZ, you better put X, Y, and Z in that video or in that article, right? And if you say, I'm going to email once a week, you better email once a week. And don't be afraid to tell someone what to do next. Calls to action are so important. Your content needs them. It's difficult to do calls to action on social because they don't really belong there, because social isn't really supposed to be a place where we're selling things or where we are compelling people to take next steps. I think that the most subtle and effective way that you can do this on social is just basically say link in bio on your Instagram, right? Or pasting a link if you're on Twitter. But you are going to get so much more out of long form or legacy content if you are basically saying, hey, if you loved this, here's what you need to do next. Hey, if this is you, here's how you get what I have to offer, right? All right, so let's get into some live coaching and live help and Q&A with this. If you are currently in a phase of your business where you are trying to figure out, well, what do I write? What am I going to talk about? I would love to talk through this with you. Let's go ahead and get those questions into the Q&A. Or if you'd like to raise your hand and let me know, I can bring you out and we can have a chat about your content strategy. So let's talk about that. And what we can do in the meantime, here we go. Okay, Carrie, I've got you for a review as well. So let's go ahead and chat. Hi.
Hi.
It's good to have you back. So do you want to talk about content first or do we want to get into the site review?
No, what we're on is fine. The content is fine because I do have a lot of questions with that. I feel a little bit stuck with it because I feel like I'm posting. The trend is reels. I post a reel every day, but I feel like I don't have I guess, what I should be posting about. So I do yoga and Pilates. So I've been posting like twice a week Pilates video and twice a week yoga video, and then twice a week about athleisure wear. And I don't really know what to post about and how to lead them. I always say link in bio, but I don't feel like I get enough engagement.
Okay. So I think that the answer to this, like the answer to the question that answers the question into the future, I don't know the right way to put this. What I would do is on your social is start asking questions. Start having the posts that you're putting up on social be asking the people who are paying attention to talk about themselves. So what is your top this? This or that kind of thing. And you really want to be thinking about who that person is. So, and you can be very straightforward about this as well. So you could say, hey, I am looking forward to creating content to help you in the new year. What are some things you'd like to learn more about?
Mm-hmm. I
Right?
feel like I have been asking questions and I don't get replies on them. I'll get, people like it and stuff, but they're not replying to my questions.
Okay. So then you have some clients that you've worked with who you think are pretty representative of your ideal, right?
Yes.
Okay. So email them. So if you're not getting it from the people on Insta or from wherever you're showing up on social, go to the people that you're already working with and ask them, ask real targeted, specific questions, right? So like, what are the top 3 things that you want to improve about your life right now? Or, when you think about yoga and having a daily practice, what's the thing that's keeping you from being able to do that every day? Or why do you feel like you can't? That sort of thing. So if you're not getting it on social, definitely go to the people that you have a relationship with.
Okay, I like that strategy. I was wondering though, would you be able to take me through a social media post? Say I have a blog. I wrote my blog, I emailed it to my people, and now I want to post it on social media. What would I guess my blog should be about whatever the video is on social media, right?
Yes,
I'm not sure how to combine them.
Yeah, or it could be tangential. So let me show you. This is one of our dummy accounts. This is Jane. This is her 7 ways, 7 benefits of practicing yoga. It's a nice long blog post, and it's got a roller bottle recipe down here. So what we would do is, and actually I was doing this on a demo and I did not finish setting these up. So anyway, we've got 7 of these things. Forgive me with the formatting on this. But let's just say that this is formatted correctly. We've got these 7 benefits of practicing yoga. I've got an image here. But what you want to think about, so we know the title of it. The easiest, most logical thing to do is to just say, I made a new blog post. It's the 7 benefits of practicing yoga. And then you could just, share it, right? That's simple. But you could take it a step further. Let me ask you this. What platform are you Instagram? Or is it mostly Instagram for you?
I've been doing Instagram, and I also have a Facebook business page that I post on.
Okay, so you're going to get a lot more out of Instagram than a business page. Business pages are they're really best to use just to be a listing, like a listed business on Google, kind of. But they're really beneficial beyond that, only if you're paying money to Facebook for people to see it. So in your Instagram, what I would do is, because you've got this great visual platform, is I would take a really compelling video of you. Maybe you're out on the, I don't know what those boards are called that you go out on the lake and you're doing a headstand on one or something like that, right? Like something that is like visually striking that's going to make somebody go, oh, what's that, right? So have a nice image. And then you say in the post, you could say, new blog post. And then you talk about something, right? And then allude to what's in it, and then just say, link in bio, right? So think about it like this. You wrote a blog post. In this case, there's 7 benefits of practicing yoga. And this number 6 is promotes divine connection and, mind-body experience. And so you could say in your post, however many years ago when I got introduced to yoga, so 12 years ago when I first got introduced to yoga, I had no idea it would help me transform into blank, right? Make sure you read all the way to number 6 in the new blog post, link in bio, right? Something like that. You've got something, there's some kind of compelling thing. You put just enough information out there. And then if that's interesting to them, they're going to go click it.
Okay, I like that. Now, a picture is good, but I heard that reels are better. So I've been trying to do reels. So it's hard to constantly come up with a new striking thing to do. Like, I think people get tired of seeing me doing headstands on the paddleboard. And they're
Sure.
like, oh, wow, she's showing off. I feel like I'm
right.
turning that side.
Yeah. So I would do both, to be perfectly honest. Aren't reels go away, right? Or is that
they stay on my
stories?
wall. The story goes away.
Okay. Yeah. So everything doesn't have to be a reel though. So with Instagram, if you've already got a ton of pictures of you doing headstands on the lake, then just have a snapshot of your life, right? There's really, if the content that you're creating is in alignment with you and how you live your life, and you really are sort of a product of what you're selling, what you're offering, then it's going to be really easy for you to, I don't know, when you're meditating that day, like after you're done, take a quick picture of, your altar, or a really pretty view from out the window, or just something nice, like, cause it's Instagram, something that's just aesthetically really nice. And then, put something thoughtful into, into the actual post, the verbiage of the post, where you can tell a little bit of a story, and say, back in such and such time, I thought blah, blah, blah. There's been a significant journey. Have you had a journey like mine? Be sure to check out the new blog post, link in bio. Number 6 was revelatory for me, right? Something like that.
So kind of connect with them on why they would want to do this.
Yeah, but just remember that Instagram is, as a platform, really something that people love. It's like voyeuristic. It's like people love to watch other people. And that's why Instagram is so compelling, because you can see these sort of snapshots into people's daily lives, and they make them very pretty and interesting. And that's sort of at the core of the average Instagram user. So I would just have snapshots of your daily life and just find a way to weave a story in that connects to the blog post content, and then, call to action, go check out, link in bio.
Okay, great. That gives me something to think about. I feel like you said, they want like the flashy posts or something. And if I post something boring, like if I post like a tree pose, something that everybody can do, it's like, oh, that's boring. But if you post the flashy pose, it's like, oh, showing off. So there's just like no winning.
Well, so there's always winning, and the winning is with the people who connect with you on message, and it's the substance of what you're talking about. So so it's less about, hey, I'm a yoga teacher, I have yoga classes, and more about like really what's at the heart of your practice and why you would be getting out there in front of people at all, beyond this transactional, I need to profit from what I'm doing. They'll connect with you on the meaning of what you're doing.
Okay, that was a nice statement. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to make sure that we're staying topical here, and I want to, because I definitely want to get into your website review. So I'd like to go ahead and bring Monique out. You've got a couple of questions about getting started with an audience, so I'd love to help you with that. And then Carrie, I want to come back to you for the website review, if you're cool with that.
Great.
Awesome. Okay, so Monique, if I can find you here on my list. All right, there we go. So we have, your question is, if you're starting out and don't have an audience yet, what is the best strategy? I find it difficult to visualize watching other people on Instagram relative to technical training. I don't know. I don't really watch other people much. So Monique, are you here with us?
Yes, I am. My name is Camille. I know it's Monique Camille on the thing,
Oh.
but I go by Camille.
Okay, Camille, great to meet you. Glad to have you here. So tell me about your business. What do you do?
Well, I'm really just, like I could say, restarting. I had a really bad flop of a business, I guess. After many years in business, I lost everything a few years ago. So I had to start over again. It took me a long time because mentally I took a real beating when I lost my business. So it's taken me a long time to start again. And I decided to go online rather than I had a technical training school, a physical one. So now I'm moving to online. It's already something that in the beginning I didn't believe in, but COVID has changed me that way. So I'm moving there, but I have to say I feel out of my element a little bit because all of this, the Instagram, it's something that if you have a technical school and you have sales staff and it's a very different environment to deal with. So I'm trying to visualize, I guess, clearly where to go to get this off the ground.
Got you. So what is the product, or what is the thing that you're ultimately selling?
Well, I'm selling courses, and I'm selling them for the 60s plus, the people who may not be quite as comfortable with technology, or who learn slowly rather than, I even in classes where we taught, I mean, the amount of material people had to go through in a day, you would expect them to remember probably a third of it, so for some people who would like to sort of really be able to do it after, take a course and actually know that they can actually practice and put into practice what they've learned. So I'd like to go for those people who want to take the time, because everybody's in a hurry, so not everybody has the time. So for instance, I'm looking now, it's really ready to go, the power of Excel, where I'm going through not just Excel, but what you need, the computer. What do you need in a computer to run Excel effectively? The mouse, how to use the mouse. So that I just don't go into Excel, but I make sure that all of these subsections of working well in a product, you master before you go into dealing with formulas and pivot tables and all of this stuff.
Right.
So I'm that course. So I wanted to sell it like 1 hour a day, twice a week for 2 months, so that people who are they're not going fast. I will go as fast as the audience is willing or able to go, but I will go as slow as the audience is willing to go as well.
Okay.
So
And
that's my thing.
who is the audience? These, I mean, I understand the age group and the subject matter, but what's the context? So are they moving into a new career? The people in this age bracket, are they in a particular career path? What's this sort of, can you fill in some of the details about who this is for?
Well, I was thinking more in line of people who may own businesses.
Okay.
They may have investments that they're trying to manage. They may have a budget now that's going to be different. If they're 60, they have to start thinking about their investments. They have to sort of know what they're doing on their own. And so that's sort of the people I'm looking at.
Okay. Okay. So I think that in your case, we're really kind of getting at apples and oranges here in terms of an approach. I don't think that Instagram is where your people are hanging out.
No, I don't think so. No.
I think Facebook is definitely a place that I would give some effort. And what I would consider doing with it is maybe like have some fun with it, right? So, generational humor, like memes and things that people pass around that are sort of, indicative of how old they are or what generation they came from. If you've ever seen those images that are like, when I was a kid, we played outside until the streetlights came on. Like if you're familiar with those kind of posts.
And it was
that,
true.
yeah, right. Well, that kind of post, coupled with the world may have changed, but that doesn't, or I don't know, like the world is changing and it doesn't have to be stressful. There are ways for you to, to keep up and, you know what I mean? Like to be able to keep up at your pace, keep up with the changing world at your pace.
Mhm.
So creating, give it a little bit of lightness, a little bit of humor with the social content that you're creating. And then of course you want to point them over to the content, the actual content. So you are going to have, I believe, an enormous benefit from creating simple, slow YouTube videos that teach some really basic concepts, right? And now this ideal person could have a whole channel of little 3, 4, 5-minute videos that teach them how to do one thing. Here is how you do this formula in a spreadsheet, or here is how you save it, or here is how a mouse works, or whatever that is. Little bitty YouTube videos that aren't giving away everything, but that are helping them with the things that are most attractive to them in terms of content. I think YouTube would be extraordinary for you because they're going to experience your teaching style before investing if they're going to your YouTube, right?
Okay.
And then you go to your social and again, have a little humor with it, be a little light with it because you're dealing with something that is kind of emotionally frustrating on some levels, right? So we're
Yes.
talking right. So we're talking about folks who, have had whole careers, whole lives, and now they got to deal with this thing. And, they feel like they've gone back to school. So there's a level of like an ego bruise happening here too. Right. So be
Yes,
mindful of that in your content, and just create things that might make them smile, make them feel like, all right, okay, this isn't such a big, bad thing. Right. We're going to make this a little fun today. And then, yeah, like really, really focus on YouTube. And I would say beyond those two things, I would really recommend that you reach out to your local chamber and to financial advisors and planners in your
Okay.
area. Right. So thinking about, getting into these communities and maybe offering when you can in person, or maybe a little free taste of something that's digital, offering an intro course in a thing that, the financial advisor who is working with people who are nearing retirement age, and you're basically saying, hey, I can help your clients improve their technical literacy. And I obviously work with clients who are, very likely in like right in your field that you're looking for. So you may actually be able to see some referral partnerships with someone like a financial planner.
Oh, Oh, that's a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thanks for coming on. Do you have any other questions before we move on to our reviews and we've got another question here.
No, I think you've answered my questions. Thank you.
Wonderful. Of course, of course. Look forward to having you on again. All right, Melissa says, what do you mean by link and bio? I get that you want to copy your link in your post, but there is something called link and bio. So it's Instagram terminology, Melissa. Link in bio is basically something that people say on Instagram when they're talking about something that we want you to click a link, but you can't put links in your posts on Instagram. So you have a link in your bio or several links in your bio. And so, people can go and they can click that. And what a lot of folks do is they use a service like Linktree, which you don't need to use. We have a link page template inside of AttractWell. You can make your own in your own AttractWell system. And you basically go to that page and it's mobile friendly. And you can click these different buttons and go off to different things. So it could be, here's my homepage. Read my blog, right? So what you would say in your post on Instagram, if in the case of what we were talking about with Carrie a moment ago, is I made a new post, blah, 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 story, head over to the link in bio, click blog and search for keyword that's in the blog, right? Or if it's the newest post, because that is kind of how this tends to work, we're just going to tell them to click the link in bio and go to my blog to check it out. Right. And so now you've got that call to action. The link is just, it's where you send them on Instagram is what that is. And if you guys are, maybe, could I see a quick show of hands? How many of you guys here today use Instagram? How many of us are Instagram users? Because we could do a link in bio training. And I think we may, either way. I think that would be beneficial here. Okay, fantastic. Yes, I'm seeing some yeses and some I just started with it. And all right, excellent. So yes, we will. And I'm so glad you love the Be Your Full Flavor, because that really is what you need to be. When you start showing up on social in your content, you are no longer just words on a page or a pretty face on a website or letters behind your name. You really do need to stand out, and you don't need to do anything to stand out other than just be you, because you are unique as you are. You are uniquely designed to attract and work with and benefit the people that you want to have in your business. So there's not really a whole lot of extra sprinkles you need to put on top of that sundae. You are already the flavor they're looking for. Okay, so I would love to, Camille, I'm so glad that this is something you like. All right, Carrie, I'd like to bring you back out and let's talk about your website. Let's do your review. And I want to see if I can pull up. Did you share any specific information ahead of this that you want me to reference, or do you want to just kind of talk through it?
It's, I think, two things. So we can just kind of talk through it, I think.
Okay, cool.
So I've done a lot of your stuff, which you were just talking about, link in bio. If you go to my, I think you call it /links page. I made that recently. It looks so nice. So that was all from you, just FYI.
Oh, no, I want to show it. Let's show everybody. Let me go find it real quick and I'll pull it up on the page so you guys can actually see what a link in bio looks like. Link. What is it called? Link page. There we go. Oh, it's gorgeous. Good job. All right, let me view this and then I'm going to show you guys. Okay, now let me scrunch this down to what it'll look like on Instagram. So this is what a link in bio page can look like on your Good Oiling site. Oh, and you've got a pop-up, pay the farmer now or the pharma later. Ooh. Dig it. I dig it. I dig it. So you can actually, and this is not something that Linktree does, you can have a pop-up with a lead form. So this is great. So you've got your classes here.
That's what's my blog, what's happening this week.
Perfect. So that goes to your blog. You've got your classes, you've got challenges, you've got, there's so many great things. This is an excellent link in bio. There's a lot of things for people to kind of peruse. They can sort of choose what they're interested in. And that's a great way to sort of get that introduction going. So great. I love it. All right. So what are we working with question wise?
So I also followed your lead on the homepage. So if you look at my homepage, I revamped it. So it was kind of more like a lead magnet.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, so I didn't want it to lead to the 28 days to elevate challenge. I wanted that to be a next step because we had conversations before that the 28 day to elevate is technically very similar to what my monthly challenges are. I do a monthly challenge each month, but I want to lead people to do this challenge the first time to kind of kick it off. Then once they're in the working with me, I've done this program, then I'll introduce the other programs, but I'm not going to introduce that to anybody new. So that was one big change that I made. So I didn't want my giveaway to be the program. I want them to, I wanted the giveaway to be, it was called, there was a class that Grow Workspace offered called, well, something about wellness in the new year. And that was an actual class. And that class, if you scroll through it, and by class, I mean, it was like a sway link.
Okay.
So that's my free offering. My free offering is kind of like a sneak peek. And actually you can see it. If you, so maybe it'll make more sense. If you go to yoginicarey.com/28elevate, it'll come up.
Good copy,
And then if you
Carrie.
scroll down, it says sneak peek. Right there, transform your wellness. That's what I want to give away free.
Okay.
So when they go through it, it gives them healthy tips that they can use right now. And then I also want to give them, when they're done with that, a quiz that they can take. It's an Ayurvedic quiz to learn their body type. So those
Okay.
are my giveaways that I'd like to have. And then once they sign up for 3 classes with me, then they get this program for free. So they're still getting the 28 days to elevate free, but it's getting them used to working with me with yoga or Pilates, and then having this off the mat challenge, which is the 28 days to elevate.
I love
Does that make
it.
sense?
It
So I felt like
does.
that was more right on.
Yeah, it does. This actually, so one question, then join me. Okay, so watch my free, Okay, so here is what I would recommend for this bit right here. What we're doing at the outset is we're offering them 3 doors, right? I didn't even know this was a link because I saw 2 buttons. So I would recommend, if this is what you're going to offer after we watch the intro class and take the quiz, I wouldn't put this up here on the homepage. I would put this, I'd bury it further down on this page, on a different page, or even more importantly, have it in the email campaign that goes out to the people after they do this. Because the thing is if we lead someone to a place, we need to give them one option, right? Or one very clear, obvious, do this right now option. Now, if they want to keep scrolling down the page and check out other things, that's totally fine. But if we say, hey, welcome, pick one of 3 doors, the likelihood that they're going to pick any of them statistically is going to drop dramatically because there are multiple choices. Whereas if we say, hey, here's the thing that I think you need right now, here's a simple thing you can do to get them. Because then anything else that you want to offer, you offer in the emails, right? Because you've already got them. Does that make sense?
It does. So then when you scroll down to the next section, then I feel like that's door number 2 and 3 that you were just talking about.
That's fine.
So now I think I'm on the wrong
I would just,
path.
just remove it from right here and make this a nice big button. And then let them, if they decide that they want to keep scrolling, then let them learn about on the mat, off the mat further down. But this part right here, this above the fold, is the thing that's going to really kind of make or break whether or not somebody takes action, becomes a lead for you. So really just want to kind of zoom in on, here's one thing, do this one thing. And if they're like, oh, maybe I will, but let me see what else is here, that's fine. At that point, you could definitely look at other things like this.
Okay, so I'm not overwhelming them. I want to give them the sneak peek for free and the quiz. But when you scroll down to see, well, this is the whole program, but hey, I can get a sneak peek of it by just clicking this button. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that that's fine. I would, so 2 things. Number 1, I'd remove this, make this a button, right? So taking care of the top part of the page. To get a sneak peek, I would actually recommend, having them register to get a sneak peek. right? So like fill out your name and email, because that way you can be following up with the people who wanted a sneak peek. I mean, those are kind of the perfect people to sell stuff to. If you're like, hey, I offer this great big thing, would you like a sneak peek? You get their email address, you know that that's somebody that knows that you're offering something, and they're trying to evaluate whether or not it's for them. I would say that that's a prime opportunity to gather contact information from someone.
Okay, so that button is going to lead them to the lead.
How did we get to that? Where is it that you're offering the sneak peek?
So where I'm going to be putting a button on that top area.
Oh, up here.
Yeah, where you told me to get rid of the stuff, that's going to be a button instead. Watch my free intro class.
And that's what this is right here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
So I think that's already set up.
Yeah. So leave this here, and you don't have to send it anywhere. The sneak peek is something that you only offer on the other side of an opt-in like this. Because again, like you know, that's a potential buyer. If you're saying like, take a sneak, have a sneak peek at something I'm selling, that's definitely an indicator that somebody is interested in buying.
Okay, so as soon as they get this, they're going to be directed to that Sway link. Then once they go through the Sway link, they're going to be emailed the quiz so that they can do that for free. So I think there's one more thing on this page that I think is a little confusing that I was hoping you could clarify. So if you scroll down a little further, this is the full program if you go on and off the map, but this, experiencing stress, anxiety, that's another free thing that they could technically get. So say they're experiencing that, they can get a free class on either anxiety, stress, or seasonal affective disorder.
That's great. Are you going to send this to another page though, right? Because right now it's just popping up the lead form.
Okay. So yeah, I can send them to my mental. Well, if they click on one of those three things, they'll be directed someplace. So if they want to see Yoga Heals, they'll go to my yoga page. If they have mental illnesses, they can go to this page. If they want to learn more about the off the mat experience, which is described above as well, they'll go to that page.
Okay, but so this button,
so I should delete that button.
Yeah. So are you basically saying experiencing stress, anxiety, or depression, one of these things may help you, basically?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Perfectly. Yeah. So don't make that a button then. Make it clear, like remove the button, just have the text with like a colon so that they can see that you're talking about the next thing that's on the page.
Okay. So what's a good lead in to be like, pick one of these three things? Hey, are you experiencing any of these things? Pick one of these and watch a free class, because that's really what.
Yeah. So all of these say watch the class and have the topic. So so you could say, leave this here and then just say something like explore some of my free classes. Okay. And that's fine. And then they can pick one of these things.
Okay.
Yeah. And just to tie this up, what I would really recommend, because you do have a lot of things that you want to share when someone opts in, make sure that after somebody opts in here, that they're going to a confirmation page. Okay. And the confirmation page needs to say, I've just sent everything that you asked for to your email. Go check your email, make sure my email is in your contacts, in your address book, so you don't miss what I'm going to send you. Right.
Okay.
And then in the email
page, but in this one, I did have them directly go to that Sway link to watch the free class, but I'll change that. That makes more sense.
I would contextualize the Sway in the email because you're sending them two things, right? You want them to have the Sway and then you want them to have the email. So I would set up the sequence so that it delivers that. And then just make sure that where you send them after they opt in here is very clear. Go check your email. Everything from here on out, I'm going to be telling you exactly what to do next in email. And then you can really give them a clear experience by giving them one step at a time with an email in a campaign.
Okay, great. I'll update that. Actually, one small thing on this page, if you scroll down even further, it said more from Carrie. Mm-hmm. That's where I put my essential oils and my athleisure wear stuff.
Cool.
Anything different that I should do over here?
No, you've got that in your shop here, which is great as well. No, this is good. This is just more stuff, right? So people can just kind of scroll. Oh, hey, I sell things. Oh, hey, I write things. No, this is good. And here's some testimonials. No,
and do you think how under the from blog, you see how you had those nice triangle, or they're squares, how you had those nice squares? Would it look better if in the section right before more Carrie, I did it like that?
Oh, you mean
Those
like
things.
larger, or I'm not sure I understand.
You know how it's the nice box you had sent a template that
Got
I
you.
copied and put those into it. I could do that for those too, or it's fine like that.
I think this is fine. This is
Okay.
perfectly fine. I mean, the color is congruent, like you've got congruency happening here. So it doesn't all have to be designed exactly the same.
Okay. And then one last thing, it's on another page. If you go to backslash, I think it's wellness plan. I think wellness plan. Hopefully. Yes. I haven't done much with this one yet. I don't even have it anywhere that anyone could find it.
Okay.
So a couple of things on my homepage, the parallax.
Mhm.
I have it as something else, but here I'm trying to have more of a water feel
Okay.
because a lot of my classes are lake yoga and paddleboard yoga and such. So I want to kind of give the outdoor feel while keeping the purple in the atmosphere. And I wasn't sure if that looked okay. So I didn't move it to my homepage yet, but if you think it looks fine, I'll move it everywhere maybe.
I like it. I think, and Greg, if you could provide some feedback on this, I would make an adjustment to how high or low the image starts.
Yeah, that parallax position would be, there's a little slider when you're editing the background section. Sometimes, depending on how the image is oriented, you have to go in there and actually like adjust that parallax position a little bit. So
Okay.
probably something you want to do here while she finds your page.
Okay.
Okay.
So this guy right here. Yeah. So I think, which way do you think we need it? Like lower, or high? I think it was set to be fairly
Just-
high. So yeah, we'll take it down.
Yeah, you could play around with it a little bit and see. It sort of takes experimentation.
Yeah.
That's better.
Oh,
You
that
see
looks
how
nice.
it was all
Yeah.
white before, and now it's actually showing up basically all the way. So yeah,
Okay.
no, I love that. That's really pretty. I think it looks good. I would recommend on your homepage, just as an aside, in your parallax sections, you've got kind of a gray color. I think if you did like a bold white, that stuff would pop a little more, where it's like from the blog and all of that other stuff on your homepage.
Okay, I think I'm going to stick with the water on all of the pages just to keep the consistency. So I haven't done that
Yeah.
yet. So I'll move that. I'll change it all.
Yeah. And yeah, this, but white, either on, I mean, this is a really pretty background. I like that. And I think it fits with your purples and the colors and stuff that you're using, but no, that, I'm partial. I think this water is really pretty. Just make sure that you've got a nice contrasting text color.
Okay, I like the water because when you do the parallax, it looks like the water's moving.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It was cool. So on the wellness page, my question to you is, I want it to be similar to the home page where I'm offering something. So I had an idea. I don't know if you're familiar with all of the Grow Workspace stuff, but there's a program called 3 Months of Wellness.
Okay.
So I guess I'm trying to have the header there be something like, if you, get this free class if you when you sign up for a wellness call with me.
Okay.
I guess I'm not really sure how to get people to want to do a wellness call with me.
Yeah. So the way that you get people to want to do a call with you is going to be kind of similar to what we talked about today with your content. You want to be telling stories on your social, and then you need to be in all of your legacy content, so video and blog and things like this. Those are opportunities not just to point to a lead magnet or to a free thing, but you can also say, I offer consults, and you could have that be placed there prominently. It's really only going to be the most serious people who've already received a call to action and who probably already follow you, who are going to go and click a link to get on a discovery call. And this applies to everyone. That's clicking the discovery call button is usually not something that happens on a website in the majority of the time, unless there is some kind of pull toward it, right? So like you're offering 3 calls and it's at the end of a webinar, where you apply for it, or you've met them in person somewhere and you've said, let's set up a call, click the link to book with me on my website, or someone's in the DMs and they're asking you questions about something on social and you say, book a call with me on my website. So it's usually going to be something that you've pointed to. And so I wouldn't worry too terribly much about creating additional incentives for getting them on the call. Just understand that typically you're going to be moving people to a call with you in some way yourself. And so in your email campaigns, have a call to action to book with you. Maybe even consider putting it in your email footer so that it shows up automatically in all of the emails that go out. Consider putting it in your blog footer so that on all of your posted pages, it's there. So just have it kind of stamped everywhere. And you don't need to like dangle a carrot. If somebody wants to get on a call with you, they'll get on a call with you. And you can use the other, free stuff like what you were just mentioning, just as value adds for your list.
Okay. And also as part of the program, if it's a 90-day program, that's a 3-day wellness class. Hey, are you signing on for this? This is your next steps kind of thing.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you were able to join us today and share. And thank you for all your great questions.
Well, thank you for all of your instruction on how to do all of these extra pages, because they've definitely helped my website a lot. I use them, and if other people are using them, it'll benefit them as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. Great big call today. So many good questions. I want to encourage you, if you want to work together live, whether you have an existing website or you're trying to figure out what you're going to move over to AttractWell, or you're just getting something started, or whatever it might be, we have dedicated space to set aside for you on a call just like this. And if you can't be with us live on the call, you could always submit questions ahead of time. We can answer them on the call, and then you can check out the replay once it's posted. So you can do that at attractwell.com/work review, all one word. And we're happy to have you on a future call. So you guys, thank you for being here today. We'll be back same time, 2:00 Eastern next week. Let us know in the meantime, shoot us a message. What do you want to learn more about? What are you interested in figuring out, uncovering, discovering, building, creating in your site? And in your business? We're here to help you get there. Shoot us a message. That is support@attractwell.com. And we are excited to hear from you. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.